everybody and welcome to another Learn in 30 video with a difference. So today I'm not going to be teaching you any dancing, but Kelly will be giving you a wonderful makeup demonstration instead. She's got a fabulous glamorous model to make up.
I haven't got a model.
What do you mean you haven't got a model?
I haven't got a model.
Well, how are we going to do this without a model? You'll have to do it then. You have to put makeup on yourself.
I can't do it to myself. What's to use you?
Me.
Yes.
This is my not impressed face. I'm going to have a shave.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to do a makeup demonstration. We're going to look mostly at the skin because James is my model, so that'll make it interesting. And basically we just want to make the skin as beautiful as possible, whether it's for a more natural look or moving towards something of a dance competition. Let's get James in the chair. So, James has already washed his face.
Yep, nice and clean.
You need your face to be nice and clean and
well shaved actually. Clean shaven I think is a good start.
It needs to be nice and clean, and if you're a bit dry you might even want to exfoliate. So if you've got a good exfoliator you want to use that as well, because basically you want everything to be nice and smooth. Okay, then you also need to be moisturized, and for makeup you don't want it greasy, but you do want it hydrated. So again, you want to eliminate any dryness. All right. So I'm just going to work some moisturizer into James's skin. He's a little bit dry.
That's because my moisturizer ran out.
He blames
Someone
me.
was using it.
Yeah, he blames me. I did use it for a while, but I've got my own now, which I'm using on you now.
And now mine's run out.
Yeah, we'll just get some more.
This smells too girly for me.
It's nice, isn't it?
Well, I think I'd like to smell it. I'm not sure if I'd like to wear it.
When you're putting moisturizer on, all over your face, but don't do your eyelids, okay? Because if you do your eyelids, your eye makeup will come off quicker. So don't do your eyes. It doesn't matter so much for what we're doing today. But,
Why am I not having any eye makeup?
well, you are. But you're not doing, you know, heavy kohl liner and stuff like that. Whereas if it was really moisturized around your eyes, then it'll all just come off.
I see.
And if you're dancing, dancers understand this, it just sweats off even more so. Makeup is temporary. When it says it lasts 16 hours or something like that, it's usually not true. Okay.
I don't plan to wear this makeup for 16 hours.
I think you'll wear it for about 5 minutes. So you just let that soak in for a little bit and then you get yourself ready. So what I'm going to start doing is using concealer. So what we want to do, James is a little bit red in places, a bit blotchy. A lot of people with fair skin are. So we're going to try and tone that down. And then we'll build up with the foundation, and then we're going to define the features like the eyes and the cheeks. Okay, so I am going to use concealers, which are pretty heavy duty, and we've got lots of different colours. Okay, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but we've got lots of different colours. And basically, if you're a little bit red in places, you might use, say, green. The green is a little bit cool. So I'm going to go for this one, which is a sort of yellowy green. So it's a little bit warmer and it'll blend in with his skin better. Brushes.
I'll do a cut on that, and when we're finished, I'll film that.
Okay.
And then as you're talking.
So you can cut into that, yeah. And you do only need a small brush for this because we're going to be working around the eyes. So you only need a little brush and maybe in small parts of the face. Okay. So. Small amount on your brush, and then just dabbing on the areas. If you could close your eyes for me. Dabbing on the areas where you need to cover up. Okay. This is not about trying to cover you with lots of makeup. It's about trying to Well, essentially it's about making you look your best version of yourself. It's not about trying to change your face so you look completely different, because actually we don't want to do that.
I think some people might want to.
Some people do, yes. And some people do a really good job of it. I mean, makeup is amazing in that respect. You can do something where it looks like you're hardly wearing anything at all, which is just as skilled. Or you can do something where you change who you are completely.
Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Jemima.
Well, I'm not going to do that to you because it might freak me out a bit. So yeah, basically we're going to work on the skin all over. It doesn't matter where, there's no scientific way, there's no, no crazy, magical way of doing this. It's just cover up bits that you want to hide away a bit. You're also a little bit red because you've shaved, aren't you? So actually, yes, it's a little bit red all over, whereas I think typically you wouldn't be. So I'm sure a lot of our ladies wouldn't have this issue.
Well, those that do know, we wouldn't know, of course.
And luckily, normally you don't show the client what they look like at this stage.
I guess that people would freak out a little bit, wouldn't they?
They would think, what are you doing? They'd think, you don't know what you're doing.
I'm just looking at myself now in the viewfinder.
Can you see?
I can.
It looks funny, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's odd. It looks to me...
It looks like a child's had their way with your face, doesn't it?
It reminds me of when I was a child and I had chicken pox, and I think my mum covered me in calamine lotion.
Yeah, it is a little bit like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all these chicken pox spots had little dabs of white, basically paint.
So I've gone in with quite a small brush, and then I'm going to use another brush just to blend it. So, just as a little tip, if you find if you find you're quite dark under the eyes, something with a reddish or a pinkish tone, depending on how dark your skin is under the eyes, gets rid of that. And then you put your normal concealer on top of it. Okay, but James isn't actually very dark under his eyes. Maybe a little bit, but not very much at all, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. So I've taken out the red, and then we're going to use a concealer is generally a little bit lighter than your skin tone, just to then go over the same sort of areas and conceal up the bits that we typically like to conceal. Dark patches under the eyes, that sort of thing, redness, blotches and stuff. So yeah, this one, my most common one to use, we're just going to use...
Is that Cherry Blossom you're using there?
Yeah, Cherry Blossom, yeah. And yeah, I am going completely over the eye because essentially for today I'm not going to use any powdered eye makeup. And what it also does though is if you do it this way, if you do use powdered eye makeup to then do a fancy look, say for a competition or whatever, it makes like a primer on your eyelid to help that eye makeup stick.
So this is essentially the basis
that
you would do for any kind of makeup. It's everyday makeup.
Well, it's probably
no, it's a bit more than that.
It's a bit more detailed for every day. It's for anything where maybe you're going to be photographed, so weddings, or if you're going to be filmed, or if you're going to be performing, hence the competitions and stuff. So it's really just trying to get the skin to look as best as it possibly can. At the moment, it all looks a bit strange, That's all part of the process.
Is that not just my face?
No, no, no. It's all because it's about blending. Blend, 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 which is why it takes a bit of time. Okay. So if you're looking for a 5-minute look to rush out of the door, this is not it. That would be something else. But bear in mind, if you're going about your day-to-day business, you just need to look nice in real life. You know, the thing is about photographs and things is that, especially now being HD and all that sort of stuff, it picks up every little detail, hence why people use Instagram filters and stuff. So what we want to do is not have to do that. We just make our skin look as best it can without that. So yeah, if I'm not being photographed for the day, it's not really necessary to take these extra steps. But it might help you understand why you can't hide those dark circles under the eyes and things like that. It's like, well, actually, you know, if you really want to hide those dark circles and stuff, you need a bit of concealer, perhaps with a colour first, and then your other concealer on top. Okay, so I've blended most of that in now. Still looks a bit strange, but don't worry.
This is how the Joker wakes up every morning. This is his daily routine. Although he finishes now and then just paints his lips on, perhaps.
Now, when you're choosing your foundation, most of us only have one foundation, which is fine. I might do another video talking about choosing a foundation for yourself. Now, obviously, I don't have James's foundation on hand because he doesn't have one. So I have to make one.
Run out.
And more often than not, actually, we're not usually one colour out of a bottle. Usually we're two. So I'm going to mix two together for James today because he's not quite just one of these. He needs two. So I'm mixing up two foundations. James is quite red on. You're quite red under there, actually.
Yeah, that's probably where I've shaved and
bless.
it's irritating. I never shave, you see. I always just use a beard trimmer. So for this, for you, I've actually shaved my face. I haven't shaved my face. I can't remember the last time. I hope you're satisfied.
Anyway, so James is actually not too yellow and not too pink. So a lot of us tend to have more yellow pigment in our skin, or we might have more pink pigment in our skin. James is, he's quite even in those areas. So I'm mixing up some foundations that have a little bit of both. Otherwise, what can happen is sometimes it's not that the foundation's too light, it's just that it's too pink, for instance. So you want to make sure you've got enough yellow in there as well, so it blends in. So hopefully this will be all right, blending in too. So there's no right or wrong. You can use fingers or brushes. I use a bit of both. So I usually like to dab a bit on with my fingers first. And you always want to start in the center of the face and work your way out because you want more of the makeup here and then you want it to blend out. We don't want any obvious lines, you know, in your hairline or around your jawline or around the ears and things like that. So the idea is that it fades out so we don't see those. Okay. And you can start with a smaller brush or a bigger brush. I've got a bigger one too. Obviously I've got quite a lot of brushes. Not everyone has a lot of brushes and you don't need a lot, you just need what works for you. And we're just working in the skin. These are quite heavy duty foundations. So they're sort of a medium coverage which builds up to a heavy coverage, which is good for competitions and the like. Again, good for photography, good for lasting longer as well. If you're not worried about those things, then I always think it's better to let your skin show more because it looks more natural. When you're working with photography and stuff, obviously there's more lights and stuff. Like I think we talked about this with dancing, didn't we?
May have done.
Yeah, we talked about the lights and how they drown you out. Because someone
That's
asked
right.
about tanning.
They did, didn't they?
Why do
Yes.
dancers tan? Yeah, because the lights really, they drain you. And so that's why you have to wear extra tan and makeup and stuff.
So obviously you're into makeup. What got you more into makeup? I mean, I know that obviously as a dancer, you would have worn, you had to wear makeup. I know that got you into it, I guess. But so what have you done with your makeup?
Well, not a lot in terms of learning how to put it on other people and stuff, do you mean? I did a course. I think it was kind of like something to do after having Ella, really, because I wanted to just learn a new skill. And I was always interested in makeup because of dancing. And I just liked it. Did a couple of brides and stuff like that. It was just time wasn't really enabling me to put a lot of focus. And then we moved house and all that sort of thing, so it was a bit hard. But I've always liked makeup. When I was dancing, I was always obsessed with creating the entire look. So from the makeup to the dress, everything, the hair. When you do comps, you start to get a bit, it's all part of the art, isn't it? So I haven't done much over here yet, obviously, so I'm gonna fill in over here as well. You can see the difference already. So his skin's starting to look a little bit more airbrushed, let's say over here. And this is his natural skin. Obviously, he's a little bit red from his shaving, but I think you can see the difference. So you can see I'm being very careful not to just slop on a lot of makeup all at once, because the last thing I want is too much to have to deal with, because it, you know, if you put too much on, all you can do is then just take it all off and start again. You can always keep building it up if there's not enough. Like I say, we don't want too much around the hairlines and stuff. We want that to get less and less, so it just seems seamless, so it seems as natural as possible. So even for a heavy look, I want it to look as natural as possible. So when I say heavy look, really what we're talking about is a look that lasts.
It doesn't actually feel like you're putting any makeup on. I mean, it does initially when you dab it on with your finger, but after that, it doesn't feel like there's any makeup on my face.
That's good.
Although having noticed myself in the camera now, I can see there's quite a lot of makeup on my face.
It is.
Yeah.
It's because it's built up slowly, and I'm constantly doing this. I mean, I'm constantly blending it in. That's why I don't just put a big splodge on and then try and blend it in, because it won't actually work.
Yeah.
Look up and over there. So normally if I was doing someone's makeup for, say, a wedding or even for a dance comp or whatever, you'd actually do all the eye makeup first and then you'd do your foundation and stuff like that. But because I wanted to show you what we're doing with skin, that's why I've started with foundation, because we're not going to do that much with we're not going to do that much with eyes. So once I've done that, I'm just going to tidy up his brows. So when you've just done foundation like that, what it does is it gives you this blank canvas almost, but it can make you look a little bit washed out. Okay, so what we need to do now is put more definition back into the face. So that's in the eyes, so with the brows, definition around the eyes, around the cheeks and jawline and stuff. Now obviously James has got quite a strong jawline, but I'm going to show you how to do it anyway. Because a lot of ladies obviously have softer jawlines, so we want to know how to add some definition back. So we've got, you know, we've kind of blanked everything out. Now we're going to put definition colour back in. So I'm just starting with the brows. Always use a sharp pencil and really, really lightly go with the line of your brows. So the way they grow naturally is the way you want to draw. Okay. Because even though, of course, this is makeup, it's not natural, we don't want it to be obvious. And I do have to be careful on James because it could look a bit silly quite easily. Just adding a little bit, really, really little bit.
I have no plans to go out though today.
Obviously, again, for dancing, you would do something a bit different. Okay, so I'm not even doing a lot around here because, you know, James doesn't want a lot around there. All we're kind of doing is filling in some gaps here so it doesn't look sparse anywhere. So I'm going up where the hairs go up mostly, and then they might have a bit of an angle, and then they may go down naturally. Everybody's brows are different, of course. You can change the shape of them, but that would be a whole nother video. And if James were a lady, I might pluck a lot of that out.
You're not plucking my eyebrows.
Oh yeah.
Ow! Cool, that one hurts.
Sometimes they do.
So vicious.
That's what us ladies
Vicious.
Us ladies have to go through. Yeah, so that's good. So hopefully all you can see now is a little bit more colour and definition through there, but it shouldn't look too obvious. Okay, then we're going to define the eyes. So again, I want to use quite a small brush because the eyes are small. And I'm just using concealers. So my little concealer palette with all its different colours. I'm going to use that and choose a darker shade to his skin to add some definition. So I've got colour on the brush, if you close your eyes for me. And we've all got this crease. So I'm going to add some definition along the crease with the colour. And it's a bit like a windscreen wiper. Just back and forth and keep blending, keep blending, keep blending. Again, at first it's going to look a little strange, but we're really going to blend this out so that it won't really be noticeable, but you'll just have that definition there. Again, on this side. I'm also going to go along the lash line. Close those eyes again. So along the lash line, because that's where we get a bit of redness and stuff as well. I'm going to get my slightly bigger brush now and just blend those. Okay, you can open for me? And then we're going to do the same thing going underneath the lash line. This can, you know, tickle your eyes a bit. So if you look up and over that way, so you can get underneath that lash line. So that immediately looks better. Now we can't see redness around James's eyes, so it doesn't look like he's necessarily wearing foundation. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to do something similar around more of the face, so cheeks, jawline, nose, even up around here. So we go in with the darker colour. Okay, so I'm going to go under the cheekbone now with a darker colour. Again, this is just concealer, but a darker colour. So you do need to be able to see it. And obviously, for a dance comp, it can be a lot darker. But if you just want to look nice for the day, you might go a little more subtly, but I'm going to try and work this in quite a bit. So we get quite a bit of definition in there. So it's just under his cheekbone. I'm not going to go too far forward, you have to be careful of that. It's just under his cheekbone and working the way up. Try not to get it in the hairline again. And on camera this might look quite subtle, but in real life it's quite a lot. And we do the same along the jawline, so you want to add definition to the jawline so that in photos you're sort of creating a shadow there. Then we do the same sort of thing around the nose. Supposedly makes your nose look smaller.
I've got a perfect nose.
You don't really need a smaller nose, no. Basically, this just makes your shape a little, face a little more angular. We may then just add a little bit of that definition up here. You can do this with bronzing powder. Okay, so again for a more natural look for every day, which I will do some tutorials on. Bronzing powder does the trick.
Can this make me look like I've got more hair as well?
No.
Oh.
They use other things for that, don't they? So again, this is kind of like just, it sounds weird, doesn't it? We've taken all the colour out and then we're putting colour back in, but where we want it.
But as you said before, it makes my skin look airbrushed.
Yeah.
So it gets rid of all the imperfections.
It's like having your Instagram filter put on, but with makeup instead of...
Mine's normally got silly comedy glasses and a beard.
Yeah.
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 So can you do that with makeup?
No.
No.
Okay, so you might blend this all over with some powder and all that kind of thing. That's fine. I'm not going to do that today because we don't need to worry too much about that. I'm just going to do a little bit of mascara, very, very fine, and then I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting, more so for ladies, because ladies want to highlight their cheekbones and stuff. So highlighter on here, maybe the bridge of the nose. I'll show you that now. This is one of my favourite products. It's RMS. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Living Luminizer. And it's quite subtle as far as highlighters go, because some of them can be very shimmery, almost glittery, whereas this one isn't. So it lends itself to looking a little more natural. It's above the brows. Along the cheekbones, this is where typically we might want it. This is what gives your skin the glow. When people talk about a glow, your skin is glowing. This is what they use. Because what it does is those higher points on the face pick up the light. So then a product like this emphasizes that. So another one for ladies is Cupid's bow. Because you want those pretty lips, don't you? Maybe underneath. That gives you more of a pout. All important.
Mm-hmm. I've always thought my pout was very important.
All important for Instagram. You might even do it so it might be light, dark, maybe a little bit of light here. Do be careful. I mean, you don't want every part of your face to be jutting out, but just to give you the idea. So highlighters bring parts of your face out. Sort of bronzers and darker colours recede. That's the idea. Just a little bit of mascara now. You look down, but not. Oh, that's it. And you can blink if you need to, don't worry about it. James has got lovely long lashes. I'm only going to do a little bit on him. Okay, look up and over there. Okay. I think that's it. Obviously, ladies, you would add some lips and things like that. I'm not going to do that on James because it looks ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. So I'm going to keep them natural for him. But yeah, that is a skin. So all we've tried to do is define his face where it is already defined, of course, but with heavy makeup it can wash your face out, so it's important to put some of that definition back in. So we've done eyes, crease of the eyes, under the cheekbones, just around the hairline, jawline, maybe around the nose a little bit. Okay, and then what you would always do is just go and have a look around and touch up any bits that you might have missed. But that is a basic skin foundation look, and then from here, I mean, you might not do that with the eyes if you were doing heavy eye makeup. You can build it up, so you can add your eyeliners and you can add colour to the cheeks, lips, that sort of thing. But this is all just about skin.
And there we go, my face done up, ready to hit the streets. Perhaps not in that way, not such a good thing. But a base foundation for all of you lovely ladies and gents out there that you can work on and work from to develop a fabulous face, if you haven't got one already.
Thank you everyone, I hope you found that useful and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure you can see the difference in James's skin from how we started to where we ended up with. Obviously this isn't a look for Sainsburys, maybe Waitrose. If you'd like to see more of this, we can do more in the future, so see you in the next one.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like it, subscribe and click the notification bell icon down below to get all of the latest updates to Dizzyfeet TV. And while you're here, check out these videos. But remember, most importantly, to dance more and worry less.